What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we're going to be doing a review over my good friend and fellow content creator, James Grimm, his fan-filmed Halloween, The Devil's Autumn, which is actually the sequel to his film that came out over a year ago, Halloween, The Blackest Eyes. Before we get into this review, just real quick, huge apologies to you guys, huge apologies to James, or aka Jimmy. I mentioned that I was going to do this video to him about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and just trying to get resettled in with work and having our baby and everything. It's been a little hard to kind of work things and get things still situated the best way we need and best way possible, just obviously to take care of our daughter and whatnot. So as you can see, I still haven't got my space set up. I'm still working on that at the moment. We're making some changes and rearranging things here in our apartment, so that way I can still have and use that space that I need to continue to make videos for you guys. But anyways, so huge apology, meant to bring this video out. And also, I did intentionally wait to do a review on his film. It actually came out a few months ago. He released it a while back, actually way before and the summer started, back in like late spring kind of. And so a lot of people were really releasing their reviews around that time, and I didn't want to just watch it and put one out there, because there were a lot of people posting them, and I felt it'd be better to wait a little bit. And I explained to Jimmy my reasoning behind this was I wanted to keep things fresh, and I've watched the film at least 4 or 5 times since its initial release, and a lot of good things to talk about today. And I felt it'd be better just to wait some amount of time, also to kind of reintroduce audiences to go check the film out, see what I had to say about it, and just give some constructive criticism, and just good thoughts of what I like and don't like. So with all that said and done, let's get started on this review. So the last time I did one of these on his film, I actually felt like I dragged that video out way too long, and so I don't really want to drag that on, and I'm not going to do what I did last time when I broke down the whole film scene for scene. If you guys want to go check out his film, I will leave a link down in the description below to his channel and to his fan film. If you have not seen his film and you are watching this, I advise you to walk away now, go click and watch his video, then come back. There are major spoilers in this review, and I don't want to give it any away unless you are a person like me and likes to look up spoilers before I see something. That's a topic for another video, which I am planning on working on doing. Anyway, so let's get started with this film. So my favorite, well, actually, slow the roll there. We're gonna break this down to things I like, things I don't like, and things that I liked and disliked, and then basically sum it all up into my favorite thing about the whole film. So first of all, I really enjoyed that the music cues were very on point throughout the entire film. I've seen a lot of hate on the way this film was shot, and a lot of hate towards the music, and really I enjoyed a lot of what Jimmy and his team did with this film. I like that he implemented different soundtracks, different scores from each movie. I'm pretty sure the opening, correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, but I'm pretty sure the opening for your actual Halloween, when you're going through the credits, is that not from Halloween Resurrection? I think we had this conversation a while back. I can't remember. Also like that we had some Halloween Rob Zombie music in there. We had some Halloween 2018 music in there. We had a lot of different I was getting a lot of different vibes from the music. The music made me feel like all these different aspects from all these other Halloweens in one, and it just really worked with what they did. It synergized well together. As far as the opening and whatnot, I really enjoyed that. One of my favorite things about Halloween films, especially the old school ones, is how like 2 and 4 and 5, and they always start off the way the last one ended, and that was one of my favorite things, is they picked up right after they left off. And something that I enjoyed about the beginning of the film is that it's kind of like this nightmarish type, like it's almost like it makes you believe it's the ending of the first film, but truly it's just Jimmy, you can't tell if it's a nightmare or if it's when he was in the hospital, or if it was just, he's so psychologically fucked up from being attacked and whatnot, and almost being murdered by Michael Myers, that it's just crazy. It was basically, it kind of reminded me a little bit of almost a little bit of Halloween 2, Rob Zombie, and not a lot of people like those movies, but I actually really enjoy those. I like some of the things that they did. I like the psychological aspect of those movies, and that's where I feel like that really touched on. And even just that whole scene with Adrian, I think Adrian did an awesome job in that scene as well, with his portrayal of himself, and just the whole just the whole way that scene was shot, I thought was done really well. Moving forward, we got a time jump and whatnot. It's been a year since everything happened, obviously. With all that being said, I do definitely like the callbacks. Speaking of callbacks, without trying to jump too far ahead, stuff kind of like the party scene, the guy showing up dressing up like Michael Myers, kind of reminded me of Halloween 5, and stuff like, and that scene kind of just reminded me of, and this, speaking of the party scene, I like the it kind of gave it a classic old school like 80s 90s Halloween film feel. Like it really, like they weren't trying to make it too modern, but at the same time it was definitely something that was really cool, and how their acting, even the acting was really good and really done well. But it's like it was almost kind of in a good way, kind of made to be kind of cheesy, to kind of be kind of like the old school films, if that makes sense. Like it was like a modernized version of like what a party would be like today, but with kind of like a splash of the old school vibe from like parties you saw in like Halloween 5 and whatnot. So I thought that was really cool. And then there were, of course, like I mentioned earlier, with the music cues and music, there were definitely a lot of callbacks with music and whatnot to old movies. Next thing I want to touch on, of course, is acting and whatnot. As we progress through the film, from the opening, of course, we move through. We're meeting all these different characters. Obviously, the first film was just Jimmy and Adrian. This film, it's Jimmy, it's Adrian, it's everyone. And I really like the dedication of everyone had to their character. I want to give two huge shout outs in this that I really want to call out in this. Like I said, I think everyone's acting was on point. Everyone did a damn good job. But I really think Jimmy's dedication to the film, letting his hair grow, and just, that alone takes a lot to, especially if you're not used to having long hair. I don't mean, me and Jimmy know each other pretty well, but as far as like, his lifestyle and whatnot, I don't know how that was for him, but the dedication, of letting your hair grow and grow for, just for a few scenes for a film, that takes time, it takes work. And then just, his throwing himself into that persona of, just being psychologically fucked up was actually pretty good. I think Adrian's performance was done really well. I think and then the other huge shout out and huge acting point that I really want to call out. I cannot remember your name, man, and Jimmy posted a post about this on Facebook, and I called it before I even saw his post, but there's an actor that is actually one of the main actors of like the party scene, and like I think it was the beer scene, I believe. I don't remember exactly. I think he even played the guy that dressed as Michael Myers. One of the actors had multiple roles in the film, and you had to really pay attention to catch that. And I think that's really cool, and I don't think very many people can pull that off, and I think it was done really well in this film. So of the acting, those were my two biggest things that I thought were done really well. Like I said, everyone else did really good. The cast was awesome. I think everyone had a really good part. Jimmy's cousin in the film, she did an excellent job. I'm so sorry I cannot remember her name from the film at the top of my head at this point right now. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so sorry. Moving forward, I think the plot of everything that we had going on with Jimmy, and then everything that was going on as far as the subplot with his cousin and everything happening there, I think there was a pretty good balance of the two, because then we get into the transition of moving from our problem and whatnot into to where the two things come together. And so I thought that was done really well as far as what we had going on with our main characters, and then moving on with our secondary characters coming together and whatnot, and of course coming into our closing with our climax happening and whatnot there at the end. I think that was done really well, as far as Adrian and Jimmy dealing with everything that they got going on, and then we have his cousin and all of her friends just dealing with their everyday life problems, with school and parties and just relationships and whatnot. And then of course that all just tied together at the party scene, of course, and of course everything that Jimmy and Adrian feared, of course, came to fruition. And yeah, so I think that was done pretty good as far as plots go. And then I think that going back, of course, it's all going to kind of tie back to this next topic kind of ties into, of course, like the acting and everything, but also just all the work that everyone put into the film, I think was really top notch. Not just the acting, but of course, I've become really good friends with Jimmy over the past year or so. And he's, as I've had conversations with him already, he's one of the main reasons I even started making YouTube. I watched some of his unboxings of some Michael Myers masks, and I thought, I want to do that. I want to be like this guy. He's cool. His videos are cool. He seems to have a pretty good amount of followers, and I've had some pretty good success for it, and I owe a lot of that to, to Jimmy. So I can tell you that hard work does pay off, and I'm nowhere near as close to being as, I think, successful with subscribers and whatnot as and with content as Jimmy is. And he's a very talented content creator in many ways. Even whether it's videos or mask making or whatever. And with that all being said, I think that this film wouldn't be what it is without all the amount of work and determination that everyone did. And I think Jimmy's dedication and his will to thrive, to really push and make this happen, because as I said, we've talked over the past year or so, and he's gone through hell with a lot of things. Even his first film, that almost didn't happen. I mean, from what he's told me, he had cast drop out. Even in this film, he had to go through cast changes, plot changes, and had to rewrite stuff with story and characters. And I think that's absolutely amazing how, with those little things, he didn't let anything stop him or his team or his cast. They kept going and they made it work, and it became something that was absolutely just incredible. So those are pretty much the main things that I really enjoyed about the film and really loved about it. Now, the things that I want to talk about that I disliked, and that's not that it's not that I hated these things. It's just there's just really one thing that kind of just, and it makes sense, of course. It's and it kind of goes together with one of the things the main thing that I loved and didn't like. So the thing that we're going to talk about that I didn't like is and again, this is a fan film, and I understand it's not a full-length feature film, so it's not going to be, obviously, an hour an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hour long film. And so obviously things aren't going to move as fast or as slow as you would like them, but I felt the tone change was a little rushed, obviously, with Jimmy and his cousin and everything, with everything happening with the party and her inviting him to the party and whatnot. And I felt like Jimmy getting over, well, not necessarily getting over everything, but I felt like from him going to, like, Adrian, stay the fuck away from me, and telling his cousin, like, why the fuck are you calling me? And, like, just being, like, hardcore alcoholic and drunk. Like, I felt like that went too fast to him turning into, hey, let's go save my cousin. But at the same time, it was like, it's Halloween. I know what could happen. I know who's coming. I know what Michael wants. And you know what? We have to save my cousin. Obviously, again, like I said, this isn't a feature film, so I know things are gonna. And this was still a pretty long film compared to the first one. This was an hour long, roughly, and it obviously. I will say that for the time they had, it did move decently. It was just one of those things that, for me, it's one of those things I kind of nitpicked at. And that's that. I probably would have looked at it had it been an actual big film. And so it's just one of those things where it wasn't a big thing. It was just it was just one of those things that I felt like that kind of moved a little fast. Not anything that was terrible. It's nothing. It still worked, and the film still works. It's nothing that I think is bad in a way that it doesn't do justice for the film or anything like that. It just, it was one of those things I just kind of nitpicked at. And the last thing that I want to talk about as far as what I liked and did not like, which is something that I think is actually hilarious, and the reason I like it and don't like it is because it's something that I don't like in every Halloween film and that I kind of laugh at. And the reason I like it / love it is because they did it so well. And it's something that I love and hate in every Halloween film, and it really made it feel like a real Halloween film for me, is the convenience and timing for Michael Myers just happening to be in that garage. when their friend is working on he's calling to complain about the whole the amps or the studio system or the music software or whatever it was, or the stereo system or something, and it was like the amplifiers and all that being jacked up and all screwed up, and him talking about the party and whatnot, and Michael Myers just happens to be there and he overhears the whole thing, knowing that there's going to be a party and shit. I thought that part was it was cool. It was shot well, because I believe that actor is also the same actor that we were referring to earlier. It had the multiple roles, so that's one of the reasons I really liked it as well. Also, just for the simple fact that Michael Myers' timing was just spot on for that particular scene. And basically, that's pretty much it for the things I liked, didn't like, and things I liked and didn't like at the same time. So we're gonna move forward now. As far as everything else went with the story and everything, I think they did a damn good job wrapping up the story. As far as taking it back to where everything began, just like Jimmy says in the film. Michael shows up at the party, and going back to things I liked. I did not jot this down in my mind as something I really enjoyed. I thought the brutalness we got from Michael Myers in this was really redeemed. Obviously, in the last film, we didn't get too much of that. But in this film, he just goes on a massacre at that party and starts freaking just butchering everybody. And I think that was good. That was really good for this film, and really seeing that, really adding that, really brought some brutalness to the movie, and it was really good to it. And I think that they did a damn good job. And Adrian did an awesome job, of course, playing Michael Myers. I think he did great in the first one, but that was something I wanted to add that I forgot to take a mental note of, is just actually getting some Michael Myers just slaughtering people. I think that's something that the film really needed. But last thing we're going to talk about real quick before we wrap this up is going back to what I talked about earlier with everyone's work and dedication and everything, and I mentioned some hate talk and people hating on the film. Guys, again, and you've heard me mention this a couple of times, and I'm mentioning this because it is a fan film. And for all you haters out there that trash talk on comments, and I could do it better, and I can that the music cue, I saw things where people said the music cues were terrible. I thought they were great. I thought they were awesome. People didn't like the way the film was shot. I love the ending. I personally enjoy a good cliffhanger. You're left not knowing who survived, who didn't survive. You're left with kind of a few questions and a few thoughts of who might be alive. But I liked that the ending, of course, with the scene where Jimmy and Michael have their final confrontation, and the screens just his cousin goes and attacks him at the same time, and it just all kind of play in. The shots kind of like skip here and there. I liked how they did that. I thought it was done really well. I think it was pretty cool how they did that. And a lot of people I saw people talking about that, and people thought the acting was bad, and people thought that, and what people don't think about is how much work that you all did and everyone put in, that the whole team put into this film. And I think that's something that's not talked about enough, is how much, I can go on and on about what I liked and didn't like about the film itself, but I want to give the cast and Jimmy and all the team, everyone that had anything to do with this film, guys, you did an awesome job. And I don't care what anybody else says, and you guys shouldn't either. You guys did the best that you could. And to all you haters out there that want to sit here and say that the film wasn't great, or want to talk about things you didn't like, if you think you can do better, go ahead, do better than that, because I would love to see you put something up better than what they did, because if I'm being honest, it's one of the better fan films I've seen out there. No disrespect to anybody else in their work, but it's just, I'm just saying, Jimmy's a good friend of mine, and I just, I know he didn't appreciate it, and I know him and his team, take constructive criticism, but it's one of those things, it's just seeing all the work that they do and considering everything and everything that was thrown against them is something that I look at a lot, as far as how this whole film came together. And one more thing that I did not like, and this isn't anything, it's not that I didn't like it, it's just, for me, it was kind of anticlimactic, is Adrian's death. I really was hoping that his character wouldn't be killed off, especially the way he was killed off. I was hoping he would have gone out with, like, maybe a fight or something, maybe saving Jimmy or something, because they make that promise in the car, to have a beer and whatnot, and it was just, But of course, stories have to come to a close. They have other projects they want to work on, and if they ever decide to make a third one, pretty sure from what Jimmy and Adrian have talked about, they don't want to do a third one, but I think it would be really cool if they did. I think it would be cool to see what happened. Maybe like an epilogue, like see just, what happened afterwards, and just maybe transition characters, get another perspective and whatnot. It's something that I think would be really cool to see. But overall, I definitely would recommend anyone watching this film. I think it was done really well. If you like the things that I talked about and whatnot, and you've seen this film and you agree, if you disagree with anything that I had to say, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Feel free to give me your thoughts. Leave, like I said, I'm going to leave the link down to Jimmy's channel down in the description below. It's James Grimm. His Halloween film is called, his fan film's called Halloween, The Devil's Autumn. Awesome film, awesome dude. Go give him some love. He's also got a Facebook and everything. I'm going to leave you a link down below so you can go get in touch and check out all of his stuff. He does a whole bunch of cool things with masks and, rehauls and all sorts of cool stuff. The guy has a lot of things going on. He's coming up on, I believe, 2,000 subscribers. So definitely go like and check out his channel, like his videos, subscribe, send him some love, tell him I sent you. And anyways, that's pretty much going to do it for today. I know I said I didn't want to drag this video out, but I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on the film, and I really wanted to go in depth and break things down that I enjoyed and didn't like. Again, sorry to all to the cast and to the team that was working on the film. I'm sorry, I just got out of work too, so I went kind of blank on character names for a second there. So huge apologies, but again, every one of you did an awesome job. I think everyone that put work into this film in any shape or form did awesome, and can't wait to see what you guys do next. I know they're working on a Friday the 13th film, I believe, so I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And I believe some of the cast from The Devil's Autumn is being recasted for that film. So anyways, you guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications for more content. I'm going to have more videos coming your way. And if there's other fan films out there, or shows, or movies, or whatever you want to see me break down and do reviews on, please let me know down in the comments below. I'm looking for more ideas and more stuff to do for you guys. I do have some videos coming your way, and some more announcements and things that are coming. So please just be patient and whatnot, and let me get situated. Obviously, those of you who are parents and have children know that it takes time to get things situated. But I promise you guys, the wait will be worth it, and more content is there to come. So once again, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good one.